Why do we need big pharma? Why do we need
city of South Africa, or some people think that Johannesburg is the capital city of South Africa, but Pretoria is the capital city because that's where the union buildings are, and basically that's where Nelson Mandela was after he came out of prison. That's where he
Oh,
was basically running the country out of. So I stay just right behind the union buildings in Pretoria, and this is my home. You know what I'm saying?
oh
Awesome,
man,
man.
good to see
Dope,
you,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
To you.
yeah.
I'm
Much
glad to
love.
talk to you, dude.
Yeah, man.
How
So
are
how far are you from Cape Town?
Okay, Cape Town from Pretoria is like 1,300 kilometers. And I don't know what that is in miles, y'all, but 1,300 kilometers, y'all, like, I
How
don't know what
long
that is in
how
miles.
long will it take? How many hours will it take for you to get there?
18.
Oh, okay.
wow?
All
Damn
right.
near a whole day.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely all day. You're going to have to stop somewhere for like a
Damn,
break.
man.
Like, you can
Oh,
push
man.
the whole day
Fuck.
if you want, right? But someone will suggest, yo, just stop, kick it back, get some doobies, get into a B&B and crash.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir. I had no idea that Africa was okay with cannabis. Are they? Talk to me.
yeah,
Educate me.
yeah, man. This is
I
interesting.
gotta
Like I'm
find.
saying, first of all,
Gotta get a light. I gotta get a light.
right.
I'm listening.
Like in case let me say thank you very much initially for having me on
Yeah.
because I'm even on here because it's blowing up now. So 5 years ago in South Africa, it became decriminalized.
Hey,
Cannabis became
hey.
decriminalized in South Africa. Yeah.
Yeah. Canada Cape
So
Cod said it was 600 miles. Those kilometers you said, they said it's 600 miles.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Doesn't sound like a lot
That's a
when you put it in miles,
oh,
does it? But they don't know it's in kilometers. But it's like 1,000 and what?
It's a lot of miles,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a long way. How so? As you said, I don't know if you are the laws good in Africa, South Africa.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is the climate over there right now in the cannabis with cannabis?
Well, South Africa is like, from what I've heard, is just like Florida or California. Actually, it's usually sunny, just like 45, 60% humidity. Um, oh,
You in the motherland. You in
yeah,
the
exactly.
motherland.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the weather's beautiful, especially for greenhouse grows. Like, I stay in between two kind of like mountains. One is at a nature reserve, and the other one is where the Union Buildings is at. So I'm like right in the middle of a valley. So in this valley, like, oh man, like it's just like a bird sanctuary over here. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of flora and fauna, and just growing here is just like it's my third cycle. And man, I don't want to lie. The first time I ever did a run over here, like I was mind blown because, bro, like my plants were just turning out like the stuff I was seeing on YouTube, and it
Yeah,
was just cuts I got for one of my friends, and I'm like, it was just like booming and it's looking all beautiful. And I just couldn't believe my eyes. I'm like, whoa, man, like, like
yeah.
how is this possible? So that's when I really fell in love with growing. And like I'm saying, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself right now.
No, brother.
No, go ahead,
No,
man.
brother. You
You
are in a place in the world that
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Like I'm just saying, like I started my first run about 3 years ago, and like I got a very big space over here. And one of my friends he came over and was like, "You saw my greenhouse." Because I had like a hydroponic setup initially for herbs and just like homegrown veggie at home.
Right,
Because it's a
right,
big thing in
right.
Africa for everybody, every family home to have their own food, right?
yeah,
Because our grandparents believe that if someone is sick in the house and you plant your own food, then your food will get to know the diseases that the family is suffering from, and then they can actually in turn help cure those diseases by
Right,
um
right,
because you tend your garden, right?
yeah,
right.
There's even something so deep that says that when they're planting, they actually put the seeds in their mouth first for germination, right? So they put the seeds in their mouth and then they drop them. So they put in their mouth and then they drop them. So by in doing so, that person is basically taking all the stories of the house. If some people are sick, if there's like some genetic illness, inherited diseases, just by doing that, they said that we can actually transfer. our knowledge right into the seeds, and then we can plant them, and then when they're growing, and then you eat that, not only you getting sustenance, but then these plants can actually help cure you. So I didn't believe that, but that's a general African law myth that people actually they grow up with. So it's very big for people to plant their own things in their backyards. It's very, very big. And that's why sometimes as well, because this myth is so real, a lot of people, not a lot of kids when they're growing up, not allowed to eat at neighbors' house because you might get something that you're not supposed to be getting. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Right.
So
Don't eat everywhere.
yeah, so because we're growing our own things, I was growing my own stuff at the back. My homie came and was like, "Oh, dude, this greenhouse is fire, like and you don't have anything inside. I bet I can give you like 5 cuts, and you can just grow them in here." So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't know about cuts or anything, because initially I just thought you planted it from seed and then that was it. So he came with the cuts, and then like they were like in 20-liter buckets, and 20-liter buckets, I think it's like what 7-8 gallon pot or something like that.
Damn.
And yeah, right. And it was like 2 wedding cakes, one pineapple cake, one Sundance kid, and this other stream called the Jeeves. But you said it was very experimental. You got that cut from someone else. So I just started feeding them initially the first week with water and stuff. And then he was like, nah, dude, you got to get the newts, you know what I'm saying? Let me send you to a website where you can get the proper stuff for these things. So that's really when I started doing my research, like, okay, cool, let me just dive head deep in. This was 3 years ago. 2 years within the like legality aspect of things, So yeah, so that was my first try, and like I'm saying, I did put it on YouTube, and actually like I saw you guys commented on one of this like music video that I did with like the indoor flowers like in slow motion and stuff. That was my first run initially, actually.
Shit.
So yeah,
That's very
man.
impressive, brother. Very
I
impressive.
know, right? It's crazy, dude. I was like, I couldn't believe myself. Like I said, I was like, oh, this is what I see everybody else on the internet growing like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
How are the seasons? How the seasons go out there? Like,
It's 4 seasons. It's mostly like right now we're in middle to late summer, and then after there's going to be autumn, there's going to be winter, then it's spring, then it's summer again. You know.
so during the
So
winter, you
winter,
just got shorter days. Is that what it is?
yeah, winter's shorter days. It does get cold, but I mean, it's not like there's no snow or nothing. It does hit it does hit -0. But
Oh
it
wow.
doesn't freeze up.
what?
Only for like a couple
In
Oh
hours.
South
wow.
Africa?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Facts,
Wow.
bro. Like it can go like minus in the mornings. Like now, like 2, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. It's freezing that motherfucker.
Oh,
It's
wow.
freezing.
Is there like,
Yeah.
I
So
is there a
always
then
big,
thought about it being hot.
you what?
I always thought it. I always thought about it being really hot.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
It is really hard. But I mean it changes, especially like what can I say? South Africa is a very weird country because it's got like the two oceans as well, and it's got the Cape Algus wind and the Bengola wind. So is it the Bengola or is it Benguela wind? So I mean the wind around South Africa is pretty crazy, especially the Cape. But once you start coming up here, it starts getting a bit drier, but it doesn't mean it doesn't get cold, And as well, there's another country right next to South Africa. It's called Lesotho, and Lesotho is basically landlocked within South Africa. There's actually 2 countries that are landlocked within South Africa. So yeah,
Oh.
and funny thing is that in both those countries, they were actually commercially growing marijuana in those countries way before it was even legal. So it's like in there they were growing because like those countries are so small that anybody with real money can really just like do anything. So they're growing all these commercial
Oh.
there, and it's crazy. Like in Lesotho,
Right.
which is the other smaller one, the other smaller country, they up until even now, South Africa doesn't produce half as much cannabis as they do in Lesotho, man.
Wow.
Oh.
And Lesotho is also like a snowy place. I think you can actually compare it to Colorado when it's actually really snowing, because it gets frozen. And that Black Panther, they actually shot that Wakanda forever stays in Lesotho, actually.
What?
Yeah. With the whole blue blankets and everything. Yeah, that's all Lesotho. That's Lesotho culture right there. So
There is so much history and
yeah,
culture where
yeah,
you are, where that land, where
Yeah.
that started,
yeah.
Africa. There's so much that happened from that continent, man.
Yes. Yes.
The world
Yes.
started from that continent. And what made your government legalize? Can I ask what year? Do you know what year it was legalized in your
Yeah,
country?
5 years. It was 2019 and 2019,
And what,
2020, 21, 22, 22, 2019. And
Now,
and what was the
is it hard?
reason?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Bart.
Yeah. Well, is bud hard to come by over there?
is Bud is Bud hard to come by?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna answer that. But brother, you also asked me something just before this.
Um, I
Extracted
said
clean or
when was it? What made them legalize it? What let
Yeah,
them
What
like
made
the
them legalize
president,
is that the fact that
the government?
there's
What
a
made them?
homie, there's a homie called
Huh?
Gareth Prince. There's a homie called Gareth Prince. I think Gareth Prince is like really like at the top of it. What happened with Gareth Prince is that he was a lawyer, right? But he was like a Rastafari type of lawyer. And if I
What?
understand the story right, he got caught out with cannabis, and then they couldn't allow him to practice anymore. And he's coming from a, a, a black background, but actually, like, I could call him a colored. By the way, I hope you guys know that coloreds in South Africa is actually like a real term. It's not like a racist term,
No, go
because
ahead.
they're mixed race.
You're the same color as us,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, yeah.
You're the
No, we black.
same. We don't take nothing like
Mixed,
that. Go ahead.
yeah.
we
So,
human,
but
man.
mixed race people are actually like a real demographic in South Africa, and they're called coloreds. I think the whole name would be Cape Coloreds, and it's because in the 1600s when the white people came to South Africa, I think they were kind of like having interrelations with the natives, so that
Yeah,
created like a whole line of mixed race of mixed race people, right? And
yeah,
they're called the Cape Malays or the Cape Coloreds, you know.
yeah,
So they're just basically mixed race people. So that guy, Gareth Prince, is kind of like he's like a Cape Colored in a way, right? So it's like mixed race, but you would say he's black. So he was a lawyer and he couldn't practice anymore, and it was because he was caught with marijuana. So he made it his life goal to fight that thing so that he can practice again. And it took about 15 years or something like that since the 90s, and then he actually won that case in 2019, and that's what made the decriminalization come into play. It's actually a pretty nifty story because the same Gareth Prince also opened up this Cannabis Development Council of South Africa, which is the people that were writing the constitution, the legal constitution for South Africa around cannabis. So they said it's decriminalized, but they never said it's completely legal. So that it just means now if they catch you with less than 100 grams, then you're not going to go into jail. Because if you have more than 100, then it's illegal. And if you're in a public space, then it's illegal. If you have more than 8 flowering plants, it's illegal. You can have unlimited seedlings. And the seedling is
yeah.
considered
My God.
that's above 15 centimeters. So you can have unlimited seedlings, but only 8 flowering plants. So that's the decriminalization aspect of it. But if you have 10 flowering plants and the cops knock on your house, I mean, you can face a little. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody getting arrested yet. But
Oh,
yeah,
that is fantastic, dude.
You know your shit about
Bravo.
what's going on over there. You know that, man. You know what's going on over there.
Yeah.
yeah, no
For sure.
facts. Like it's big. It's because as I'm saying, like it's always been big in South Africa, but up until it was legal, people could not really like come out here because South Africa doesn't play with those police, like it's been real over here for years, you know what I'm saying? So it's like people are still afraid to be wrong in the law, in the eyes of the law,
Yeah, they put
and
they put hands on you, don't they?
they'll put hands on you like like nobody will ever know, you know what I'm saying? Type of vibe,
Right.
like
Oh,
so
wow, that's
nobody's
scary.
yeah, I know it's going to take it, and people were not growing before because you can imagine people like me, like I'm 31 years old. But like my parents, they'll be like in their 60s maybe, and the stigma around cannabis is still so real with them that if anyone is still my age and wants to grow and like maybe they live with their parents or maybe their cousins or something's around, like they'll still snitch, they'll still be on some yo man, but you can't be growing that, right? And it's like, nah, fam, it's legal now, so
Yeah,
people are still kind of like there, but
man.
um
That's how we were here. That's how we were here. They had a real fear
yeah,
in like instilled in us, man, about it because the trouble that came with it was real.
yeah,
It was real.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy. What are some of the good popular strains over there that you're growing? That that you're growing, or that maybe grow good in the climate of South Africa.
Man,
You
let me tell
guys
you,
have like a go ahead.
let me tell you, like, oh yeah, and almost forgot. Let me answer Bob's question while I'm answering
Oh
this one because
yes,
he
go
asked me
ahead.
what in the we got over here and if it's easy to procure. Man, like one thing that I can tell you is that no matter where you are in the world, as long as you can just walk in the street, man, and be like, where can I get that shit? Somebody's gonna get it to you. But
I
if
know
you want
that's
the
right.
real good shit, you're gonna really have to go into the dispensaries, right? So dispensaries were
Yep.
a thing up until about 3 years ago. Okay, so when I say dispensary, I mean a private social club because that's the system that's been put in place in South Africa. So okay, I think I have to kind of like explain about this thing called the Grow One Africa network. So
The,
Grow One Africa, yeah, Grow One Africa, yeah. So it's like a cannabis network where it's like this one kind of like one big company, one big. It's a privately, well, it's not a private corporation, but it's like a non-profitable organization, right? And basically, what they did is that they opened up private clubs in each province, state, and there's more than
ooh,
20 of them all over the country. So what happens is that each member goes to a private club, right, a social club, and then they register as part of the club. And after they register and they pay a membership fee, they're allowed to go to a bud station where a bartender can share other members' grows with the new member. So no one sells anything. It's a system of we share. So I actually recently became 2 days ago. Actually, no one knows this. I was preparing to just to drop this on the Canna Brothers Podcast because I've become what they call a cultivating processing member. So a CPM is a certified grower underneath Goa, Grow in Africa, and you can basically grow blunt for the clubs. So how it works is that I have a space and I demarcate areas like I have my seedling area, my processing area, storage and curing area, and I also have my maybe my greenhouse or my mothering area. So all these areas are demarcated, right? And then in the place of let's say I got an indoor veg and flower space. So in each block, I can put in each block like a square, I can put 4 pot plants, and each plant belongs to one member. So let's say in my club, my club is called 420 Twig, for example. They have about 1,100 members, okay? But they only have 700 plants for those for the whole club.
ooh.
So there's like 400 plants missing. So a cultivating person member like me can now grow maybe 100 plants for
Oh,
the other members, right? So that's how it works. And they
nice.
basically when they
Yeah,
when
good
they
job,
go to
Tom.
pay for their membership, they're paying for
Yeah,
the storage, the growing time, the lease of the land and the property, time and skill and space. So no one actually buys the blunts in the private clubs. You are basically paying for the time and the storage and the materials used. And the beautiful part about this is each member can share their plant with someone else. So by you approaching a bud station, all the buds that are there basically belong to you and the other members. So we're all basically sharing those strains together. So under Grow One Africa and these 20 clubs, we're basically sharing strains among all the clubs and all the
Yeah.
thousands of members of Africa. And no one is buying anything, selling anything, and it's completely legal in that aspect.
Oh, that's
that,
beautiful. We need something
hey
like that.
man,
You
that's
guys
what
like
I say. Yeah,
basically,
that's a nice blueprint
Yeah.
that
you guys
needs to
basically
come.
remove, yeah, you guys remove the money aspect out of there.
Yeah.
So
Right.
The money
So
aspect
it's just
is there. It's like I said, it's more of when I get reimbursed, there each person that's paying, for example, okay, let's say like this, $1 is 18 rand. So let's just say a hundred rand is like $10, right? So each person that pays $10 for my product, they're actually paying me for my time, for leasing the land to grow that space, the grow space, the land,
oh
the nudes and everything. So it's calculated that like basically each gram would be like a certain price because that's how much it takes to grow your plant. So you're basically
Right.
paying for your plant slowly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because it's
Because
not right.
you don't
Because
need to grow it
so
yourself.
it's non right. So basically, it's non-profit, but you can pay for the things you need to operate it.
Yeah, because basically you get your plant donated to you by an owner member, which is another cultivating person member like me. So what's going on is that every time there's new members joining the clubs, they need more trees. And those trees are donated by basically Grow One Africa. It's a donation. No one is buying or selling anything. Then I grow on behalf of a member at one of the 20 clubs all around the country. You know what I'm saying? They're not paying me. They're going to just pay at the bud station to say thank
Right.
you for storing it.
Right.
Thank you for growing it and
Right.
curing it and
Awesome.
taking care of my plant.
Awesome.
beautiful.
Appreciation.
Yeah, so no one
Yes.
is selling or doing
Blessings.
nothing.
Yes,
Actually, I
man.
can
It's
grow.
all how you look at it, right?
Yeah.
Then you know.
Yo, that's
Because
pretty
at the end of the day, it's at the end of the day when someone pays for something.
Yeah.
I mean that's why I assume the meaning behind it. You know what I mean? Is thank you for it. Thank you for all your work. I appreciate
wow.
it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
need it. X, Y,
That's
Z.
That's
That's
why now
cool, man. So let me ask you a question. How long you been in this club since
yeah, the moment.
2019 or
oh shit. The first time I joined the club was in 2018, but I never knew that because I joined the club as what do they call them? As a member. They don't call them smokers or anything. They just call them member. So I joined
Nice.
as a member to share bud in 2018. But only 2 days ago I registered as a cultivating processing member, which means I'm now growing and processing for the clubs, my club, you know. And
That's
one
amazing,
thing
man.
before this, guys, there's literally all the strains you can imagine are there. There's not that thing of like, oh, your guys are smoking
let me
some
ask you a question.
1970s
Let me ask
F1
you a
Durban
question. How do
poison.
you guys?
We've got those classic slurry canes. We've got those all types of cakes, ice cream cakes, suicide cake, freaking jump off the bridge cakes. We've got all the hazes, all the skunks. We got all
Jump
the
off the
genetics.
bridge.
I
Okay.
I recently Black Friday, last year Black Friday, I literally was going crazy shopping genetics in Colorado. There's this company called Greenpoint Seeds. That's the first, well, not the first, but that's for me, that's the first company that I thought like, okay, I want to get genetics from these guys. There's a guy called Heisen. I know there's so many growers and breeders out there, but there's a guy called Heisen Genetics or Heisen Beans, and I really just clicked, I just gravitated towards Heisen because I feel like he's got very very good genetics. So I bought some stuff in Colorado last year, and just off of that regard, because a lot of countries ship to South Africa, you must understand. It's not like what can I say, like in the middle of a war-torn area here.
Yeah.
So a lot of people ship to South Africa, and so I got myself some highs and beans, and as well, I mean, you can buy. There's also companies that stock. I mean, you guys know Dino Myco, right? It's
No.
like this mycorrhizae inoculant
Oh,
that
Yeah,
people use
Peru.
to grow.
we know
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. ASOS, mycorrhiza. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so basically, the Dino Myco is an American company, but because they know how much the cannabis industry is actually growing in South Africa, they actually partnered up with Nuclear Roots, and
Right.
Nuclear Roots is actually the ones that are going to be distributing that product. So the products that are only fully American, those people are realizing, look, California is becoming saturated because you guys have like
True.
10,000 companies all selling silica, 10,000 companies all selling phosphorus. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all the same
Right.
shit, just white label, just put a different label in it, right?
That's right.
So some of the companies are really big, some of them are small, and the bigger ones are really like coming out here to supply stock to the shops over here, and it's becoming widely available. That's how big growing is, and they're not even giving us an
Yeah,
half price either. People be paying full American dollar prices for that shit because they take grain so seriously, you know.
yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of people. This is more than their passion. This is their life. This is
Yeah,
their life.
yeah.
Are you?
Let me
Did
ask.
you? What?
I got a
Go
question
ahead,
for him,
Mark.
Tom.
Go ahead, Mark.
I want to ask him.
About the smoke.
I want to know how they in South Africa. Do they see cannabis as medicine?
Yes, they do. The people that got it decriminalized do. The people, there's still a big stigma around it because in 1994 was the first time that South Africa became free from basically colonization. Okay, because
Right.
up to
Right.
that point, everybody was segregated. What does that mean? That means if you're black, you guys stay in a certain part of the of the city. If you are Indian, you stay in a certain part. If you're white, you're all staying in the burbs now. And
Oh,
if you're any type of race was basically segregated into being in a certain area, right?
Right.
So after
Right.
1994, when Nelson Mandela came out of prison and basically called the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, it's called, where basically all the people that committed heinous crimes, if they came up and stood up and said, okay, look, 3 years ago I took this other one guy from this area and then me and my friends kind of like tortured him to death and stuff like that. If you spoke out, then we would forgive you. You see, so that's what happened between 1994 and 1997, and it was like people just coming out saying all these things that they did, and people got closure and stuff like that. So after that, people never really left those segregated areas, you know. So wherever those people were staying right now is still there. Like for example, like in Pretoria here, these hoods, that's where like the black people were staying back in the 80s, 90s, even up until now. Like the grandmothers that are like in the 80s,
yeah.
they were there during that time, had kids, the kids had kids, and they're still staying in that same place. So it's very difficult for people to actually move on and like kind of like see the world move because they're still in the same physical place that they
Yeah.
were emotionally. So cannabis is still very much stigmatized in that regard because people they haven't gotten any psychological help as a
It's
country,
in their
and
psyche.
yeah, it's in their psyche. So they also believe it makes you crazy. You know, they believe that
I've heard
if you
that.
do that in your
I've heard.
future, you know.
Why do they make it? They have no proof of that. They're just some wild accusation they say.
Yeah, yeah,
It makes you crazy.
exactly.
They used to say that back in the day. And
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
look,
especially
they say that they actually say that now over here in the States
yeah,
and the psychologically everywhere you can see it on Google, they're saying like it'll make you regress and go through psychosis. It's a very good way to uh go into schizophrenia. I'm just like, are you serious?
nah, that's the
That's
thing.
not
They
accurate
really
at
scared,
all.
and they scared us. They scared. I mean, look at it from your guys' angle, where I think it was in the 1930s when it was prohibited or something like that. I don't know if that's alcohol. I'm confusing with anti as well, but it was around that time, and the propaganda around it was the fact that black people smoke it, and they would fornicate with your
Yeah,
wives. So I mean,
yeah.
that's how that
They'll
was a
rape
stigma
your
around.
wife.
Yeah, exactly. Like hide
Oh,
your
I should have
wives,
said
and
that. Our word. It's
so that's the same thing
the truth.
over here. You know, those cops were smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? But the community, they catch you with the shit. You in trouble. It's the same thing since day one, right? The cops are smoking. You know,
Oh yeah. See,
they take our stuff and
I,
they're giving it to people.
I I find it hard to believe that, and this isn't a. I just feel like everybody has smoked weed at some point in time in their life.
Yeah,
If it's migrated down there to South Africa and you guys have got y'all personal indoor growing and even outdoor growing, that's absolutely magnificent. It is being spoken across the world. It's our generation, man, that we're gonna change the whole narrative of this thing. We're gonna change the whole storyline. Yeah, it was that, but now when people are actually using it and speaking real facts about it instead of stuff that's just like superstition and what you heard back in the day. That's so old. I've heard that ever since I was a little boy. What you said, it makes you crazy.
Yeah.
And it never made me crazy. It makes me creative.
Yeah, that's the thing, because now if you ever caught with it, and like your family members found out,
Huh.
you won't eat Christmas. You won't eat Easter food. You know you know what I'm saying, bro? Like
What?
next thing, you don't have enough meat on your plate, fam. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah,
Because you're smoking
yeah.
weed, bro.
Yeah,
Then
that's
and you be
hard.
munched up too.
That's harsh. I'm glad that the police down there are actually taking a chill pill with it. How is your soil down there in South Africa? What is your soil like?
Right. Good
It depends on
question, Tom. Good
the area.
question.
If you're on the outskirts, on the coasts, you already know what it is. It's just mostly sandy and clayey soil. Over here in the middle here, there's a lot of like loamy soil, very dark colored soil. If you're very dark colored soil, I think it's best for leaving it in the ground.
Really?
Not really taking it out of the ground and like potting it. I don't think it's good for that. But the soil is relatively good. But otherwise, we're all growing with whether it's cocoa or
Right.
hydro. I am a cocoa grower.
Oh,
I do also I growing cocoa. So I'm basically just doing the fabric pots,
yeah.
the cocoa, cocoa perlite, peat moss mix. There's this other one product I really love using. It's called White Lion, and it's a South African product. It's basically just like like a Fox Farms, but it's just a South African
Ah,
version.
it comes in its multiple parts.
In the one bag, and it comes with activated charcoal and mycorrhizae in the same bag, which
Ooh.
like open them and like mix them within that same bag. So
Oh, that's
that's
pretty dope. How
What do
many?
you? Well, go ahead, Tom.
Go
Just
ahead.
make sure you see when he's feeding it, Tom.
Yes. I forgot. As soon as you started, I forget the question, brother. Go ahead, Marv. What did you have something?
No, I was just talking about like the soil, right? To just say those are the mediums that I'm using. I'm not really using like any floodwater tables and anything like that. And the funny thing is, I actually studied agricultural management in university, and I
Really?
remember I was writing all my things to do with cannabis, and I kept failing, and I
Why?
even yeah, exactly. So I approached my lecturer, and I was like, dude, like, what's going on here? And they say it's because that there isn't enough academic research done for all my things to be written and for them to be factual, because there actually isn't any academic research done, especially in South Africa. So you cannot take things from like America or like Colombia or something like that. So it's like, even in school, you can't even write about it because we don't do academic research for it. So I'm trying to do it, but you're stopping me, bro. Like, what?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Even though you're probably writing an absolutely probably stellar paper, they're like, no,
And
that's messed
I
up.
would never
That's
do
messed up.
anything base.
Holding you back,
Like I wouldn't,
man.
because I'm trying to prove that like we're smart, right?
Yeah.
So just taking that knowledge and trying to get a job. South Africa is very difficult to get a job. The unemployment rate here is like, for the youth, it's like 60% or something like that.
Holy shit.
So it's impossible to get a job. Like, so many people don't have jobs. So I haven't been employed ever since I left varsity. You get me? I haven't to do my own thing. I've had to do my own
That's
thing my whole
right.
life. And
That's right.
I'm hated. I'm an academic. You know what I'm saying?
What made you study agriculture? What did you learn? What did you learn?
Yeah, like I
How
said,
did you apply it now?
I come from it's my granddad. When my mom like kind of basically my mom was working and trying to go work in the city, and she left me in the village. So my grandmom and my granddad were basically raising me, and they have green thumbs. I was staying on
Oh yeah.
a plot, and it's basically just like a farm, right? So I basically just grew up on like a plot or like on a farm, and my grandma and granddad, the green fingers, before you go to school at 6 in the morning, you're up at 5 just to get the shit ready for the farm.
Oh yeah.
So I grew up
Working.
with that, and yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to make them proud. I just wanted to continue what they were doing, but in a much more professional setting. I wanted that knowledge to be translated into like an academic background, but at the same time, I know where it's coming from. So I came to agriculture with like how like in an indigenous way and in
Yeah,
an academic way. I don't know if that makes sense, because I wanted
it
to
does.
know more about what my forefathers knew about. You see,
Right.
that's what I yeah. So
Oh, that's just amazing, man. What else? What other things do you like to grow, or have you grown?
man, like I'm
Like
saying,
you said, you plotted. You said your grandmother and your grandparents, you were in the plot in the fields with them doing that at a young age. So that
so
means they had
so
passed
I'll tell you
knowledge
now.
down to you.
I'll tell you now right off the bat. The staple food in Southern Africa is what's called mealie meal, right? So it's mealies. I know you got corn, and corn is yellow,
Yeah,
right? But the mealies
we
are white. Mealies are white.
knees,
Mealies, mealies.
Middle
Yeah.
East, yeah.
release,
So it's so funny. Maize. You know.
maize.
Yeah. So that's the African staple food right there. The same way for Americans we learned it's bread. For Asians it's rice, and
Right.
for
Right.
Europeans it's potatoes. You know. So it's
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
it's basically a grounded mealies or corn. Imagine a dry corn cob, and then you ground it into a powder, and then they make it into a porridge first, and then it boils, and then
Is that like a cornmeal?
yeah,
Ooh, that
like corn.
sounds good. I'd
It,
eat it.
it looks almost like mashed potato, but it's made of corn.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Ooh,
what
Yeah, I like it with the
everybody.
cornbread, man.
Yeah, man, it's like cornbread, just like cornbread, but it's like cornmeal. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
it looks like
Yeah.
mashed
yeah.
potato. So that's what everybody eats in Southern Africa and all these countries. It's
Yeah.
like a staple food for us.
It's
So that's like
filling. It's filling. Right.
it's very filling. So that's that.
Yeah.
So everybody basically kind of like grows their own mealies so they can dry them up to grind them to make that powder. And then we also
Yeah.
grow our own kale, our own veggies, whether it's cabbage, kale,
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
right? So you got the veggies on the side next to that staple, and then your
Right.
stew, bro. What venison, whether it's your own farmed goats, sheep,
Yeah.
beef, pig.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm saying, that's when now the meat comes into play, and so it's that's like a normal meal. So it's like that starch, the veg, and like some stew. So that's like a really normal. That's a very staple meal right there. You know.
Wow.
So that's
So
people. So
I've been seeing,
grow
I've been seeing South. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, people grow these things themselves, guys. Like, people herd their own animals. Whether you got 5 goats or 1 cow, like you be out there with it the whole day. Like, well, I'm waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? To eat. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like herding is a big thing. Doing your own farm, your own gardens is a big thing, because ain't nobody prepared to go into town. Because by the way, town is a distance away, and you gotta pay to
Oh,
get there. So ain't
yeah.
nobody
Right.
prepared
Sure.
to buy something they could grow themselves. You
That
know. So
that's just the best way to do it.
yeah.
See, so
Yeah.
your government, what are they what's the word? They
What like the
so
like they're like a
they want
the,
you growing your own food. They let you grow your own food, and
They encourage you.
yeah.
Do
what
they
you talking
encourage
about
you?
food stamps now or what?
What'd you say?
You think the government encourages you to take food or something?
No, to
No, do
grow
they
your
encourage
own food.
your government? They encourage you to grow your own food.
Yeah, I mean
Do they
depends what
want to?
nah
They
they don't want
can't
you to.
stop you.
They don't want you to, because they want you to feed back into the economy. They want you to feed into the economy and kind of like pay for these things. That's why the same way you guys have Walmart, we have just big ass
Yeah,
stores that sell everything, you know, and that's
yeah.
fine. People going in, they buy the stuff. You mustn't understand, like, don't get it twisted. We're not like completely in the bush, right? There's people that are like in the bush,
Oh
but
no, you guys are
generally
very
speaking,
you guys are
especially
very
South Africa. South Africa is like almost like a first world country, because all the other people run to South Africa
damn
the
right.
same way the Mexicans come to America to States, right? All the other countries in Africa, they come to South Africa because that's where there's most of an opportunity, you know. So it's really a first world country in that regard, but it is a third world country because yeah, we'll win the pits. But there's no war here. I'm talking to you on an iPhone 13. On my Wi-Fi, I got 5G. You know what I'm saying? There's lights everywhere.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
no, like I'm not gonna candlelight. So it's like we
yeah.
doing it here, guys. I'm
It's growing. It's
I
growing.
see. Yeah, I see you guys on Instagram, like even the little kids dancing. You guys are not in the back. You guys are like,
yeah.
you guys are advanced just like us. I
Hey
know you
man,
guys.
it's talented as hell out there,
I
man.
must
I
say,
Oh my
mean, we
God,
are.
your talent.
because man, like we recently the genre we developed blew up worldwide. It's called Amapiano, and it's being played everywhere. Like it's crazy. We even we're number 5, I think, on the Rolling Stone. And Tyler, this
That's
chick called Tyler as well, who's just kind of like doing the most. It's
yeah.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
music wise, you guys are like coming forward. Like it's about time because even the tribes back in the day when they used to just sing their hymns or their chants, they had beautiful voices. Like if
Right.
you
Yes.
like the women singing in Africa, they're just beautiful voices. That's some. I think that's like somewhere where the best talent comes from. Africa, and even I'm sorry, China has beautiful singers
That's
too.
very
You know.
that makes sense.
Hey, I got a question for you. I got a question for you, man. Is China
Yeah.
coming and buying up Africa? Is it
Yeah.
true?
This is interesting. Well, the truth is, man, it's crazy because we got this, like, it's so crazy. We got this whole BRICS thing going on where it's like,
Yeah.
Russia, India, China, and they're all like kind of like coming together to try and make all of those countries powerful. So they're basically kind of like in the same WhatsApp group, and they're talking to each other and say, well, how can we make our country better? One thing I can tell about China though is that they're investing heavily in
The same WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Oh,
each other.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
the Chinese
Go ahead.
basically they are bringing a lot of infrastructure, but not to South Africa per se. I mean, we do work with Chinese people, but mostly in Lesotho, that South African landlocked country that I told you about. Like the Chinese people are doing all the developments in there, like no cap, like even in Swaziland, like a lot of the development that's being done, the big machines, the resources, like that's all Chinese, So it's cheap, but it makes it modern. They're modernizing a lot of these smaller places for very cheap.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, it's going down around here, man. Everybody's got, stay safe, man, and
Yeah.
Have you ever?
keep your own peace. Keep your own peace, man. But
Oh yeah.
how is it? How is it out there, um, all year round, trying to get some bud and trying to
Yeah.
stay medicated?
Yeah, man. So like I'm saying, you can definitely just go in the street and you really get stuff for 50 rand would be like $4. That's like 10 grams for $4. But that's heirloom
What?
Now, and
land race stuff.
how much is that in U.S.
That's
dollars?
$4. It'll be like $4 for like 10 grams. $4 is a lot of money. Like I say, two
For
for
how
Is
many
it?
grams?
like $2.50 for 10 grams of heirloom
Damn.
seeds and sticks on seeds and sticks on
Holy shit!
yeah. 10 grams, $2 about.
Of good weed? Of good green?
Now, as I'm saying, it's good. It's gonna definitely smack you. That's all the Durban poisons where they're coming from. Like, well, I'll tell
Ooh.
you here because it's like Durban poison, Swazi gold, the Swazi, what they call Swazi, which is from Swaziland, and it's like it's with
What's
different strains.
mm,
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
the other
So
Swazi?
listen, it's going down in Morocco. Is that where it's going down at?
it's going down to Morocco.
With the Yeah, is that what they said? Is that where most of the cannabis is at?
Yeah,
Nah,
where's
that's
the
hash. In Morocco, there's hash over there, buddy. But over here, like I'm saying,
What he say,
like I said, in South Africa, it's cool.
Tom?
he said over there's hash. He's it's not going down over there in weed. He said they got hash over there. I understand everything he's saying because I was raised by
Yeah,
everybody. Jamaicans,
I
yeah,
Haitians,
understand my
everybody,
yeah.
African,
I don't know
everybody. I understand it perfectly.
accent. I know I have an accent, right?
Yeah, dude. But we've heard it before. So do you where I know you said at a place in Colorado is where you get your seeds. Is there any other place where you've? Is there any place out there in where you are in South Africa that you a seed bank? Like, is there?
Yeah.
If
Like
it's
so let me tell you, there's a lot of genetic breeders here in South Africa, yo, and
hell
let
yeah,
me
that's
tell you
what I'm
something. A
talking
lot of people, a
about.
lot of people here watch y'all, and I hope nobody gonna kill me because so many people want put-ons. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. No facts. But I'm gonna say this: Base Seeds. Base Seeds is one of the people. They're from Cape Town, and they're basically breeding for the South African climate. So what they're doing is they're basically taking the strains out there from reputable seed banks out there. Then they cross those strains and then they strengthen them for this environment. So I'm running some base seeds right now as well. And there's a lot of seed banks, and there's a lot of places that also sell seeds. Like for example, we have
Yeah.
marijuana A, and we have Biltong and Buds, and we have overgrown seeds. We have so many, like there's so many that there's
Oh,
so
that's
many seed banks.
dope.
Just go on
Yeah.
the websites or on their Instagram, and then they'll refer you to their websites, and then you can literally just get seeds. Like generally a packet of 3 seeds goes for around $25, which would be like 300 rand, give or take.
Are you
So like
saying 300? Are you saying 300 grand?
no 300 rand. The currency here is RAND. It's called the rand.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything makes sense now.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
I had my boy from South Africa, from Cape Town. His name is Cape Town. I forget what his name is, but he on here heavy. And
Yeah, man.
he wanted me to try to get him some seeds, man. And he really wanted some seeds, seeds.
Yeah, man.
And then when I went to go try to, it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that
Well, let me tell you
easy to.
this. What happens is, you see, like your Mephisto, your in-house, all these type of like seed banks that are big out there, right? What they do is after nobody buys their seeds, right? They're gonna sell the old ones, the ones that are almost reaching their shelf life, right? They're gonna
What?
sell them to us. They're gonna sell them to us. So it's mine. It's now my job to be popping those 2-year-old beans that Enos had like 2 years ago. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? That's how they're doing it, and then they sell them out for cheap now.
Oh,
So nobody's gonna.
that's trash.
Yeah,
Man, you got
people.
to keep your integrity.
Yeah,
You're gonna
you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
bro?
you're gonna water you're
yeah,
gonna water the game down doing stuff like that, man. Everything is just gonna be like if you
right.
don't see how that's
Hey,
gonna fuck the game
right.
up, you're just ignorant.
That's another question I have for you, because you was and you like to have the bag seeds, right? I did a bag seeds outdoor last year, and
Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't. What's your take on that, man? You said you collect them, you look
I
for them.
collect seeds. I love collecting bag seeds because I started making content around cannabis last year, and ever since then,
Oh,
I've had so much growth. It's insane. I've had so much growth that I jumped
yeah.
on the gram and was like, I don't have genetics. And in the last week or two, people are sending me lights. People are sending me genetics. That's how the community is so together in this place, right? But to answer your question, yeah. Sorry, I had to mention that because I must mention the fact that I thought I was gonna come in and struggle, but this community is very welcoming. So,
Yeah.
sorry, I lost track. You asked me something right now.
You're trying to find some genetics through the bag seeds, right?
So, because I know that they grow most of these strains over here it's like in Swaziland or Lesotho, right? A lot of those strains are seeded because it's street stuff. So it's not like straight buds. You know what I'm saying? They don't even weigh it in the street. They just put as much as they can in the bag. You get what
Oh,
I'm saying?
I love it. I used to
So
love that shit. Sorry.
and the way that they grow them is that they broadcast the seeds, right? And they basically just like throw the seeds out. So they harvest, they grow, and they shake the seeds, and then they take them up, and then they just keep on doing that over and over and over and over. So you'll be lucky, bro, when you buy that bag. It's gonna be full of sticks and seeds. And I have run so
Oh
many
no.
seeds because I wanted to show people that because that's how I just came on the internet and I'm like, look, guys, you don't have to buy because genetics is expensive, you know. I'm like, you don't have to buy thousands of rands for genetics because that same stuff that you're smoking on the street, when you pop those seeds, you don't even know you can find like 5 different strains over there. Because remember, phenos are, even if it's sour diesel, right? And it seeds, right? When I grow all those sour diesel seeds, because of the way that the genetics of marijuana are, it's not just going to be
Yeah,
that one diesel, it's going to be like
that's
its
right.
parents, right? So you finding grandparents, parents, and things that just like you'd never normally
Facts.
even buy on the street. So I've been collecting
Facts. Yeah.
that, and
I grew six.
man,
I had 6 different plants.
That's
yeah,
that's awesome. You knew that, dude. Backseat is not bad. I'm a firm believer on it.
Yeah.
I've done it when I'm my beginner days.
yeah,
Facts.
Absolutely,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
grew some
Man.
fire.
I mean, my pops gave me some seeds he wanted me to grow. I mean, he said it came out of some fire and he didn't.
Yeah,
It
man.
was. It was.
There's a
It didn't do nothing
lot of,
bad. It grew just like a normal plant, you
yes,
know.
And that's what I'm
But
it
saying.
did.
I
Let me
smoked
tell
it and I moved on.
you what genetics is. The fire that your pops saw, right? You can go your whole life popping those same seeds and not finding it, and your son might pop seeds from that same generation and find that same fire that your dad found 10 years ago that you never managed to find. And that's how
Yeah,
crazy phenos, you know?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
That pheno hunt is a trip.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
dope. How many plants do you grow at a time yourself? How many can you handle?
yeah, I can handle a lot, buddy. Like I'm saying, I got a greenhouse, I got an outdoor grow area, and I got an indoor grow area as well. So what I'm doing is in my greenhouse, I usually have like about okay. Let me say it like this: if I have strains that I bought myself, like, and I want to run them, I'll definitely do like if it's autoflowers, I run 3 autoflowers of the same strain at a time. And if it's photo periods, then I usually run like 2 at a time. Like if I get like a pack that's got like 6 seeds or something, I just 2. A lot of people would say pop all the seeds. That's what I
Yeah,
found out. Pop all your seeds, like and grow the phenos, and then choose your best ones, right?
even if
But
they're
because
so that means even if they're you're only choosing the best. Even if they're females, you're throwing them out and choosing the best female. That would hurt me. I couldn't. I could never.
that okay now, like, that's the thing. Now let's talk about this a little bit, guys, because this one's a very real one. I was struggling with that, and I realized how
Right.
real, because for example, what happened was that
Yo,
like I told you, I bought my seeds from Colorado, right? And it was like 6 seeds, and it's like $88 for like a packet, but I bought them on an auction, reverse auction, for like
yeah,
25. So
yeah.
they were stuck on some USPS thing in Los Angeles, right? And I called them. I'm like, yo, guys, this shit is stuck. It's been stuck there for a month. My seeds not coming. And they sent me another packet.
Ooh,
Then I realized both the packets are now on the way. You see? So the other one that was stuck became unstuck. So now I'm actually waiting for 12 seeds, right? So the real cannabis connoisseur would pop all 12 of them and
that's
then see the best 1 or 2. See the best 2, you know? Then after that, what you're supposed to do is get the clones off of that and keep those clones indefinitely, right? So that you have the best phenotype out of your 12 seeds. Because just because you bought that strain doesn't mean that you're going to get the most fire genetics off that strain. It's up to
right.
you to find which one is the most fire, you know? So most people, they get it twisted
Oh,
with period seeds because you buy them for so expensive, you pop them, and you're like, oh man, I didn't even get that shit, like, what it looks like on the internet. But what you don't understand is these guys have like thousands of seeds, right? And
yeah,
out of those thousands of seeds, maybe there's only 10 of that pristine 5-star phenotype. So it's up to you to find it, you know?
absolutely. That's see,
Yeah.
you know what
So
you're talking about.
you
That
like to hunt. You like to hunt for the phenos and you like do you have phenos that you
I do not, I
have?
do not, I do not have any phenos.
no,
Like I told you, I'm literally fresh. They call me a noob. I'm literally getting given grow lives. I'm getting given genetics, but I've studied so much that I'm waiting to put it into practice now. You know, I have cloned, I have cut, I have reversed, I have
Oh,
bred, I've grown seasons. You know what I'm saying? So I have done these things, but just that I haven't done it on a platform where people can see, yeah, we know you've done it, you know, because you know how it's like in these communities, man. If you don't have the receipts, ain't nobody supposed to believe you, bro.
it's the
So
truth.
yeah, so I'm
It's in the
collecting my
proof. It's in the pudding.
times, bro.
Where are you going in the future? Where you see yourself? Where does
Yeah, man. Like I want
what
to become
society going?
influencer in South Africa. I want to become a weak influencer in South Africa. I want to become a very big grower. I also want to have my own commercial setup where I'm running my own genetics one day, something that's going to make the whole world go crazy. I also want to sell my own genetics one day, you know, some bland society steez, make the whole world go crazy. I want to have my own dispensary, my own cafe where people can come here and smoke. I don't want
Oh,
to have, because the pain is that I haven't been employed. You told me to go to school for freaking 15, 20 years. I went there.
I
So
know.
I don't have a job right now. So I waste my time. If you listen to me when I said I wanna be on stage rapping, I would have had a Grammy by now or something.
Something. You ever thought what you could have been? It's
Yeah,
the
I'm
time
It's
saying
that we.
coming. It's
I was,
coming.
I, I was I was doing music. I should say. Let me just mention this. I was doing music before time runs out. I was doing music, and I even won a competition that was run by Old Mutual. I don't know if you guys have Old Mutual in America.
Say it again. Old what? Old
Old Mutual. It's like
old mutual.
Tracy Morgan or something like that. Okay,
I don't think so.
it's okay. It's like HSBC. You know HSBC?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
we got Liberty Mutual and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Oh yeah.
Banks.
So like that. So it's like so yeah. So basically, I won this money. I was like a rapper, right? And then like I won the rap of the year because I was talking about money management habits. So I was an artist
Yeah.
until COVID hit, and I was actually hitting them stages, and I was sponsored by them. Then when COVID
Yeah.
hit, ain't nobody do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, man,
Right.
there's no,
Nothing's open.
yeah, nothing was open. So when I got back, things it just changed. So my biggest hustle was from making music, you know, and I got sponsored by a company called Durban Poison, which was the first cannabis beer in South Africa. So they make beer using cannabis, and it's the first cannabis beer
Oh.
called Durban Poison, and I was the first artist to get sponsored by that, you know. So I was pushing that for a while. I was doing music, and then like all that just kind of like fizzled out after COVID. So I had to find a new grind. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
hip hop music wasn't taking off as much anymore because of the dance scene over here. You
Oh
know?
yeah. A lot of that. You gotta have like other acts with your. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
weird.
right.
Right.
It's just a lot that doesn't contribute to being hip hop. I feel you.
Yeah.
COVID destroyed everything.
And I'm saying right now I'm trying to grow for all my like I know like you know most of the artists in the industry, and I'm trying to grow for them. I'm trying to grow and have the artist the same way people in America be talking about cookies or Snoop Dogg talking about
Yeah.
Kush or the way Nipsey Hussle OG, what marathon OG, you know. So I also
Yes.
to have something like that, but like for our industry as well, because the South African dance industry is very big, yo. Yeah.
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 Yo. Well, listen, brother. We want to thank you, Marv. Is there anything else that you might want to say in this juicy ass interview, man? This is
Mm-hmm.
dope.
No, man, it's been yeah. Listen, man, he filled us in. I think he filled us in, man. You know what I mean? It's kind of dope. I wish the best. I do wish the best to you.
Well,
Um, I know all of that schooling, and I know everything is going to pay off, man. You know what I mean? I see you focus. Um, we will be reaching out to you. You know what I mean? We got other stuff going on in the future, man. See if you want to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
we're
So
gonna circle back, man, and see where all y'all are. Because
Yeah.
we appreciate you. We're watching everything you do. And we subscribe to everything you did on Instagram. All your notifications, your lives, all
Thank
that stuff.
thank
So
you so much.
everybody we interview, I want you to know that. And we're gonna make mad reels about this and promote
Um,
you through the week.
love, guys. It's
we're gonna
love. I already know
show you some love, man.
followers already went up, so thank you.
Yeah,
You know?
brother, we working with
Yeah,
you.
man,
It's love.
for sure. Much respect to you.
Till
Inshallah.
next time. brother.
Peace out.
Keep growing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Peace.
Why do we need big pharma? Why do we need